Hi, it's Cathy Cena here with Tri-Cities Community TV, and today we decided to get out of the Tri-Cities and come right into Surrey, British Columbia. And why do you ask? Well, for a wine, but not just a wine that makes history. And we're going to find out a little bit more by talking to the President and CEO, Frank Gigliotti, today. Now, Frank, let's talk about yourself for a moment, if you don't mind. You certainly, you certainly didn't start, smelling the grapes last week. You have a history in winemaking, and can you tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit about your history and how you started in the wine business?
Well, I came by quite by accident. As a kid, my father made wines. What Italian father doesn't make wines? But for the first 20 years of my life, I thought I hated wine. But it wasn't wine I hated, it was my dad's wine. It was horrible stuff.
Right.
I had a career in the record business, and I'd been working with Neil Diamond. And after the show at the Pacific Coliseum, we went back to the Bayshore, went for dinner at Trader Vic's, and Neil said, "Would you like to have some wine with dinner?" There was just the two of us, and I didn't want him to drink alone. I said, "Sure, absolutely." He ordered, I remember it was a Puy Fuissé, a Chablis. I hadn't even heard of that name. And I tried the wine, I go, this is not like my dad's wine, So we did that, and then we had a Pinot Noir afterwards, a Gevrey Chambertin, and I kind of got hooked on those bottles. And then Billy Joel came into town about a year later. And, Billy spent a lot of time in California, so he was really happy and very, very excited about the California Cabernets. So those are the first time I tasted those wines. But the guy that got me over the top was Julio Iglesias.
Okay.
Yeah, Julio was here, I remember 1986, and he brought cases and cases and cases of wine, and myself and Julio and his manager Fernando were up all night drinking these wines. That tipped me off, and the next year, 1987, was the first year I started making wines. And this will be my 32nd vintage.
Wow, 32nd. And a lot of these wines that you're creating here have these amazing names that you come up with, but there's a story behind them. Yeah. So let's start with the one closest to you here, Esperanza. Tell us a little bit about that one. Well, actually, of course, I picked the blue one first. I wanted to save it for last. So we should probably start with Ton of Bricks. Okay, great.
Speranza is a word that can't be translated into English, actually. There is no word. Some people think it's like hope, but it's not hope. So
I was wrong. I was wrong 5 minutes ago then.
She's got cancer. She might live.
Right?
No. Speranza is the anticipation of beautiful things to come. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a done deal. We just have to sign the contract now, okay? And Speranza means, just wonderful things. You get up in the morning and you've got a great feeling about life. You got a great feeling and very confident in yourself. And you go through the day with a big grin across your face. Mm-hmm. That's Speranza. So, and we did 3 wines. And this is what we call the Cavallino series. And the Cavallino is Little Horse.
That's right.
Yeah. So these are our value wines. They're not entry level, because they're very, very big, bold wines, but this is where our wines start. And this is a $19 bottle of wine. This is a Moscato from Italy, and it was planted in California. Mm-hmm. And we bring the grapes up, and we ferment and press out and everything, and create this wonderful wine. This is Esperanza Rosé. You can see it's a slightly different color. And this comes from a different grape. It's a black muscat. Mm-hmm. Very, very rare, very, very hard to get. It took us a long time to find this grape, but it has some beautiful qualities. And this is our newest edition. This is the Cavallino Blue Speranza. And I can tell you how we make this, but we're going to give away one of our trade secrets. But this is very, very similar to the white Speranza, except it's blue. And I was in California at Total Wines, this wine store. And there was one wine, a blue wine, on the shelf, and everything behind it was empty space. and they said they couldn't keep this wine in stock.
Oh, wow.
You know, and this is after we had created this, because we thought we were the only ones. But certainly, we're probably the only ones in Canada that are producing a blue wine, and it's very, very fresh, fragrant. A little bit of residual sugar in it, so that it's a perfect wine for an afternoon on the deck or by the pool or whatever during the summertime.
Is it quite refreshing?
Very refreshing.
So the 3 Cavallinos are in the $19 range?
Yeah.
Okay, and this bottle right here?
Well, before we get to that,
okay.
This is a wine. This is our Value Red. It's a red blend. It's called Ton of Bricks. Little play on words. Bricks, spelled B-R-I-X, is actually a term that is used in winemaking. If a wine has 25 bricks, it has 25% residual sugar in it. The higher the sugar level, the richer the wine, the sweeter the grapes.
Okay.
So this is Ton of Bricks. Okay, and it's a blend of 3 wines. It's a Merlot from Napa Valley, and Zinfandel from Lake County, and Petite Syrah.
And is that what we have in our glasses
Yeah,
right
that's
now?
what you have in your glass. You should taste it and tell me what you think.
Well, let's have a cheers, a little toast.
Salute.
Premature toast and salute.
Cent'anni.
Cent'anni,
What does that
that's
mean?
right.
What does it mean?
100 years.
Yeah, may you live to be 100
Frank
years.
and I are from the same region in Italy.
Did you steal my bike?
I didn't find. I don't find too many Italians from Calabria, but we have one here definitely. Yes. Can I have Can I have my taste now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Oh, that's really nice. Yes,
Yeah.
lovely. You said it's three wines?
Three
grapes.
3 grapes, yeah. And we blend those together. And again, it's quite unique because I don't know of anybody that's blended those 3 together. What you should know is that before we put out a wine, especially a blend, we'll do 30, 40 different blends in every conceivable, style. And then there's 1 or 2 that really, really pop out. You say, wow, this is really different. It's difficult to find a wine that is this rich with tannins, that back end, that wet tea bag that you get from some wines, to be this smooth and still be this rich.
Right,
and we
right.
found that the Merlot rounds off the palate beautifully in the end. It's got a very long finish, so the wine stays in your mouth,
For quite a while after.
well, it keeps
yes.
coming back at you in waves.
Yes.
And that's what you want a really good wine to do. We've had some of our friends take this wine and put it in blind tastings. In other words, they would pour 5 or 6 other wines of much, much higher price. And many occasions, this wine came in up on top against wines that are $70, $80, $90 a bottle.
And so what does this retail for?
$29.
$29.
For you, $28.95.
20, wow.
Yeah, I want to give you a bargain on it.
And this one here?
This is our Chardonnay. This is part of the Cavallo series. Now, the Cavallo series is
Is that the mom of Cavallino? Or the
of course.
dad?
I know. This is they say it's actually transgender if you want. No. No. This would be the father. Okay. And what this is made in the Burgundian style, where we barrel ferment the wine 100%. And then we do what they call a surlise, which is we stir the sediment instead of, cleaning it out. And we leave it aged in brand new barrels. Every wine that we make, it's 100% new barrel.
Okay.
No compromise. That's what we're all about. And so in about a year, this wine is ready to bottle. And we also put it through what we call a malolactic fermentation, which creates, have you ever had those really creamy, buttery Chardonnays?
Yes.
That's this. We do
wow.
100% malolactic. It's a very, very long and expensive process. But, as I say here, we have a philosophy of no compromise. If it's not the best, we're not interested.
Right, exactly.
And so people think we're crazy using a barrel once, because most wineries will use a barrel 4 or 5 or 6 times. But you cannot get the quality of flavor profiles that you get out of a second barrel. People say, well, why don't you use it again? It's almost the same as using the same tea bag for a second cup of tea. Yeah.
Right. Not the same as the first.
No.
Exactly, I understand. But your wines are catered to a lot of different price points.
Yeah.
We're talking about sort of more entry level here.
Yeah.
That this Cavallo here, this Chardonnay,
Yeah.
how much is this one?
This is $49.
$49.
We also have a Merlot,
Yes.
a Pinot Noir, a Syrah, and those are in the $59 range. Then we have two wines. One is called Asylum. We call it Asylum because it's a crazy blend. Only a madman would use these wines, but they seem to work. Again, this is part of our blending process. And we have another wine, an $85 Cabernet Sauvignon. And then we have our signature wine series. This is our top end. And we have a wine called Pepino, which is affectionately named after my father, who was the worst winemaker I think I've ever met. God bless him. Sorry, Dad. There's another wine, and that's a Sangiovese, Super Tuscan blend. That's $125. We have another wine called Cantare, which is Italian for...
To sing?
To sing.
Yes.
Right, let's sing.
See, I know my Italian.
Yeah, you do. And that is a blend of 3 different Cabernets with some Syrah and some Merlot. And then our premium wine, the Cavallo Reserva, is going to be $175. It's probably going to be Canada's most expensive wine, but we put these wines in blind tastings with sommeliers. And we're very, very fortunate to have beaten many of the wines that are $500, $600, $700, $800 US a bottle.
Right.
It's pretty astounding. So we're very, very anxious to get these wines out. The top wines that we're making, the Reserva series, is going to be called the Francesco Gigliotti Collezione Privata, which means what?
Your private collection.
Our private collection.
By the winemaker,
yeah,
yes.
by the winemaker, and they're small quantities, by comparison. They're going to come in a beautiful wooden box.
Very nice.
The presentation,
Yes,
the
that's
black
very-
box with a Cavallo silver gold logo.
Yeah, presentation and the packaging, of course, is always very important. Now, before we wrap up, Frank, what's happening here at Cavallo? You just put together this amazing front area for tastings. Can you tell us a little bit about when people can come and visit and taste these magnificent wines, and maybe take a few cases home with them and enjoy them with their families?
Well, we are open every day, Wednesday through Sunday, from 12 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
We prefer that you call in advance and make an appointment. That way, because sometimes you come up with 10, 15 people, and we're not prepared for that.
Right. So for larger bookings, make an appointment. Yeah.
Should make an appointment. Yeah, and we will have all of the wines ready for tasting by the end of this month, which is March. But we have the medium priced and the value wines available now. We're open for business. We're doing a soft launch right now, but within about a month we'll have a grand opening, and we'll invite you, of course. We'll invite all of our friends out to have a taste and see the operation. What we try to do, as you can see by the decor here, is we wanted to say premium. We spent a lot of money on the leaseholds and all the renovations that we did, and we're very, very proud of the presentation that we're doing. We're very proud of our wines, and thank you for asking.
Of course. And lastly is, where is Cavallo going from here?
Well, we have secured a tasting room space downtown at Thurlow and Pender in Vancouver.
Okay.
We're really excited about that. We are also going into Scottsdale in California, or in Arizona rather. We're doing a Cavallo America branding in the States.
Right.
And you're the first person to ask, so you got a bit of a scoop on this. We're actually doing, if we can call it, the Starbucks of wine. Well, we're setting up small tasting rooms with our Cavallo branding in not only Scottsdale, but Vail and Aspen and Laguna, Newport Beach, La Jolla, all the really, really great areas that have a tremendous amount of culture and great art galleries and great restaurants, and anything that says quality and luxury is what we're about, and that's what we're doing.
It's Cathy Cena with Tri-Cities Community TV, and you heard all about wines right here in Surrey. If you are listening to this from the Tri-Cities or anywhere in the Lower Mainland, I recommend that you do make the trek out here. It's definitely worth it, and why not? Bring your girlfriends, bring your friends, maybe not children, but here at Cavallo, they're doing so much more than making wine. They're definitely making history, and you heard it from Frank today. Thanks for watching.